To be successful, you have to have a combination between modernity and timelessness. The success of the group is made of the quality of the product, and the quality of the product is a consequence of the extraordinary craftsmen and women that are working with us. I am very competitive. I always want to win. Try to avoid to invest when everything is too expensive. All that interests me is promoting my brands, never myself. The person who I admire most in business is Warren Buffett. He is a long-term investor and has brilliant ideas, and he sticks to them. I think in business you have to learn to be patient. Maybe I'm not very patient myself, but I think that I've learned the most is be able to wait for something and get it when it's the right time. When something has to be done, do it. In France we are full of good ideas, but we rarely put them into practice. If you control your distribution, you control your image. What I love is to win. What I love is being number one. In business, I think the most important thing is to position yourself for long-term and not be too impatient, which I am by nature, and I have to control myself. When I took over Louis Vuitton, everyone said, "It's already so big. What more can you do?" And since then, we've multiplied that success tenfold. The goal of a startup is not to stay a startup. The goal of a startup is to grow and to become, if possible, a large company. You have to be just as mistrustful of straightforward rationality in business as you do of a uniquely gut approach. The key to success is this duality, timelessness, and the utmost modernity. My work is to help innovators and designers understand that the success of their creativity is in large part based on the success of their products. Creativity, yes, but executed in a way that people like Anne can use. Every time there's been a crisis, we've gained market share. Sometimes you do not succeed. I remember people telling me it does not make sense to put together so many brands, and it was a success. It was a recognized success. And for the last 10 years now, every competitor is trying to imitate. I think they're not successful, but they try. Money is just a consequence. I always say to my team, don't worry too much about profitability. If you do your job well, the profitability will come. The major reason for success at the beginning is to have an idea, a creative idea, an innovative idea. I see myself as an ambassador of French heritage and French culture. What we create is emblematic, is linked to Versailles, to Marie Antoinette. A good product can last forever. Luxury goods are the only area in which it is possible to make luxury margins. In the luxury business, you have to build on heritage. Affordable luxury. These are two things that do not go together. What made Louis Vuitton famous was the quality. We don't do marketing. We just create products which are exceptional in their design and craftsmanship. When you are on the management side, you still have to understand the artistic sensibility so that there is a dialogue with the creative side. Our strategy is to trust the creators. Luxury is the combination of quality and creativity. Mastering the paradox of star brands is very difficult and rare, fortunately. It's not enough to have a talented designer. The management must be inspired too. The creative process is very disorganized. The production process has to be very rational. What we do in our group is the opposite of the bad effects of globalization. We produce in Italy and in France, and we sell to China when usually it's the opposite. In order to be able to sell a product at a relatively high price, you have to offer the craftsmanship and quality that goes along with it. Steve Jobs once asked me for some advice about retail, but I said, I am not sure at all. We are in the same business. The most important word in our business is desire. Can you say that in 20 years people would still use the iPhone? Maybe not. Maybe we'd have a new product or something more innovative. What I can say today is that in 20 years, I'm quite convinced that people will still drink Dom Perignon. Luxury for me is how can you create desire. People think of politicians having true power, but that's less and less true. After all, they are often constrained or being edged into a corner by a whole series of contingencies. I think that to prepare for a career, it is important to have a goal. What feels good is choice, having the freedom of choice. The only thing that is imposed on me professionally speaking is my own long-term vision of things. Oh, I was brought up in the north of France, and I had a very enjoyable childhood with my family working as entrepreneur. What I have fun with is trying to transform creativity into business reality all over the world. To do this, you have to be connected to innovators and designers, but also make their ideas livable and concrete. When I was working in my first job, engineering construction, what I liked the most was working with architects and making buildings that had this creative side coming from the architect and that were making them a big success. I think there will be a high level of optimism when all this is finished and things return to normal. I am never bored. If you deeply appreciate and love what creative people do and how they think, which is usually in unpredictable and irrational ways, then you can start to understand them, and finally, you can see inside their minds and DNA. I am and will remain a tax resident in France, and in this regard I will, like all French people, fulfill my fiscal obligations. I take time to get close to, and I don't immediately throw my arms around someone. Happiness for me is really leading the team, and, if possible, leading them to the top. Join the inspiration revolution. Subscribe today.